Namaskar, Adab, Sat Sri Akal. I am Rakesh, Chawla, a practicing Vaastu consultant and a quantum coach. I believe in miracles. Do you? Well, please start believing. मानोगे नहीं तो होएंगे कैसे? Believe me, start believing. Anyways, आज का topic is very interesting. It concerns everyone. And it has disturbed and shaken up a lot of people. This is regarding toilets in the Northeast. इसका बहुत ज़्यादा डर and fear has been spread. People say that if there is a toilet in the Northeast, one should just leave that house, stop using it, sell your house, do whatever, but it's a no-no. It has no solution. A very simple question is, how can a problem exist without a solution? It's not possible. There is nothing singular that can manifest. Something that has manifest has to have an opposite. So if there is a problem, it must have a solution. We've not found one is one thing, that is acceptable. But to say it doesn't exist is totally wrong. There is a solution. People are trying to find a solution. Because no one wants that, hearing that there's a toilet in the Northeast, they'll either not buy a house, or if they are living in a house which has a toilet in the Northeast, they will block it, stop using, with the fear of that, oh, now health will become an issue, etc., etc. I'm not saying that you buy a house or you get into a house and be very careless about a toilet in the Northeast. One has to be careful. So what one can do is, A, keep that place very clean. Keep salt water in the toilet and keep flushing it every day. The lid should always be closed. Keep plants in that room, in the toilet. Have a nice deodorant in the toilet. Do whatever it takes to infuse good energies. Then what is being tried is, by keeping lead or copper plates below the WC, the negativities, they get absorbed or distributed to a very large extent. They dilute the negative impact of a so-called toilet in the Northeast. And now experiments are on that what if you put brass or copper tags in the four corners of the toilet. Well, I can't say that it has some very definite results or it is a solution to the whole thing. Yes, one is working towards finding a solution, because I refuse to believe that a toilet in the Northeast has no solution. I just cannot believe it. And I also want that people should not live in this fear that the toilet in the Northeast means no and it is the end of life. It is just not possible. Because just think, do you think people world over have no toilets in the Northeast? There are many countries, there are millions or billions of people who does not believe in this subject. So for them, a toilet in the Northeast doesn't exist. If it is existing, is it really causing problems? You see, any concept, understand one thing, any concept, it starts affecting with the number of people believing in it. And that's called the tipping point. For instance, let's take the subject of Vaastu. There were earlier, about 30 years ago, there were many cases I found where the water tanks were not where they are supposed to be, and people were happy because they've been there for many years. But over a period of time, as the awareness spread and the belief spread that the water tank must be in between the north and the east, now this is a belief. It's a good belief. I'm not saying it's a wrong belief, but it's a belief. But before this belief crossed the tipping point, these water tanks were not really creating any havoc when they were in the south or the west. Likewise, if the kitchen was not in the southeast, if the kitchen was in any other direction, there were fewer people who were aware of where the kitchen should be. Now again, the effect was there, but was very marginal. And this is, I'm talking about my personal experience. And as the belief started increasing, as the number of people started believing more and more in this subject, the effects of what has been propagated also started getting impounded. So what was not there 25-30 years ago, today I am finding that everything is having a very intense effect. Or it challenges my intelligence as to why it is happening. It comes down to is the belief of people. Because energy follows thought. That's a universal law. And if the thinking of people is that something is negative, it will become negative. If mostly people are believing that things are positive, things do become positive. There have been many cases where one has found that people have come out of very severe medical conditions because a lot of prayers were happening by the community, by the fans, by the family and friends, and they've been recorded as miracles. So kaise ho gaya? It's the belief, it's the desire. If everyone had believed that the person will not survive, there's no question that the person would have survived. So belief and faith can move mountains. One must always believe in positive things to happen. One should not neglect or ignore if constantly something is being hammered into you that it is not right. You have to question yourself. Don't have blind faith in anything.